women can't contract protection. You know how much a security guard costs per hour?
No way, like, they do. It's free.
It's not. It's not free, and this is why it's not free, because if women don't want female police officers coming when somebody's beating their ass. Women don't want a female plumber coming when they have shit that's broke. Women will always need men.
I never said anything about manual labor and there being an exchange. That's not what I said. What I said is that women used to actually provide a function, and that still stands true. Mont said chastity, which I agree with. It's not about manual labor. I said that technology has afforded men and women alike benefits, a different level of lifestyle. That's kind of hard to argue. So it's not about changing tires or going to chop trees. That's not the argument. The argument is that at a time when a man acquired a woman, he actually got something from her, past the way she looked. Women of today do not provide those same functions. They don't even provide, a non-traumatized perspective, because by the time you get them, they've had so many sexual experiences. They've done everything under the sun, or whatever it may be. And that just stands to be true. So this whole, you made a notion about women just are. What are they exactly? Like, I don't agree with that. I think that what we need to do is come to the table and be, honest and see what it is that both parties are going to provide moving forward. Because what women are providing as far as their existence is just not cutting it. And if you agree that men are not doing it adequately financially, that's your opinion.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask a question, because I hear this and I look around, right? People say women, don't cook and clean, right? But there were a lot of single women who back in the day also did cook and clean. And yet a lot of fathers were not in the home, right? Men are always like, oh, my mom used to cook and clean for me. But yet your dad was not there. So is cooking and cleaning really what you're looking for? Let's just be honest. And even when I talk to guys, especially attractive men, or just guys in particular, decent looking guys, most of them have had great girls in the past who were willing to do anything for them. They just didn't choose her. For whatever reason, she just wasn't the one. And you can't sit here and say that you haven't had a girl in your past. If you're a decent looking guy, you have your shit together the way you say you do, that you haven't had a choice of decent looking women who were willing to, maybe you had a food that you like, she was willing to cook it the way you wanted her to cook it, do all of these things to cater to you, and you just simply didn't choose her.
But Shan, what you led with the man being attractive, and I think sometimes, I know myself, Willie, Mont, maybe even Trev, we typically are talking about your average guys. We're talking about your everyday dudes. We already know that men that have the pick of the litter, you're absolutely right. There ain't no man on this panel that have not had his. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So these people, so most people are average people. I'm talking about the average generation. Of course, I say you guys are attractive, so I'm talking about you. But what I'm saying to you, when I go out and average, most people's parents are average looking women. Your father was an average looking man. He wasn't doing nothing, nobody's dad was Bill Gates around here, right? So with that being said, even on the average level, even today, there are broke men who have women bending over backwards for them. There's a woman right now trying to bail a guy out of jail. And it's like, what it's so confusing, because I just feel like we're not being honest about what's really taking place here. And I would say more so than the provision. Well, I guess this kind of deals with provision. There's a lack of commitment that we have a problem with. We don't want to commit. We don't want the responsibility of committing, marrying. And I think that that's the biggest problem. And it's been taking place since the early 2000s. It's not before social media, it's been declining. So that's the real issue.
I just wanted to say something real quick. I want to push back on the idea that beauty is a woman's primary agency. I think that beauty is a beautiful woman's primary agency. I think the rest of the women got to work, and they got to be good at other things. I think a smaller percentage of women are actually beautiful to the point that they can just pretty much they going to end up wherever they want to be in life. A lot of other women they gotta work, and they gotta, just like the men. I think a small percentage of men, like PI said, are able to provide. A small percentage of women actually are beautiful. It's kind of like, a lot of them try to, they do the makeup and stuff like that, and it raises them a little bit. But yeah, I think it's the same on both sides.
A woman's biological imperative to be fruitful, all that shit stems her being beauty is how she attracts men that want to reproduce with her. So her primary agency, biologically speaking, is her beauty. A man's is to be able to go out and protect and provide. And that's why some women don't like short niggas. That's why women don't like skinny guys that are little. They like the guys who look like they can provide safety and security to them from a physical standpoint. That's what signals their bodies, like what turns them on, their pheromones, what makes them sexually aroused are going to be a lot of those things. There are other things that those men who don't meet those criteria have to get women, but it's the same on both sides. So because your first thing you suck at, which is, unfortunate genetically speaking, you have to go compensate other ways. That's like ugly dudes that have money get bitches. Like we've said that a billion times. Fat girls who have funny personalities that can cook get dick. It's just how it goes.
All right.
That last comment was kind of like I just had to sit with it.
Yeah. Hey, look, yeah. We did.
Y'all act like y'all don't know, but it's nothing wrong with being like big girls, right? But let's be real. A big girl with a cute face is going to get a lot more dick than a big girl without a cute face. That's funny. That's, that's easy to talk to. That might know some shit about sports. Niggas are going to hit her, not in public still. They're not going to take her nowhere, but she's still going to get more dick than the girl who looks like the fucking Mucinex monster. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I'm not saying anything that should be like fucking remarkable. It's like, it's common sense. Look how many big bitches have husbands. Like, because
it was just how you say it was just random. It's nothing.
God damn, I haven't said anything far-fetched yet tonight.
It just came from this guy and just like
I didn't think that was gonna be one.
So I think that I wanted to bring something to attention just for context for what it is that we're talking about. So there's a big issue with women's stance right now, right? Not to say that it's good or bad, but it's detrimental to men. Women have, done what they describe as decentering, right? They no longer find the value in marrying most men, right? And this is, I don't know. I haven't actually witnessed a generation who's been to death at this point to see if they're going to regret it or not. But I see women in their 40s and 50s, at least behaving as if they don't regret it and don't give a damn, because our primary agency, right, was to protect and provide. That's what we were here for. We, as men, have self-sabotaged and created a society where women don't need us for protection or provision. So that kind of gives them the optionality to do what it is that they want to do, right? They can contract sex out. They can contract a person to talk to out. They can pretty much manipulate the game to where they can get whatever it is that they want from several men and could play the game which was socially acceptable for men. They can do the same thing now. We're no longer allowed to call them hoes and shame them for being promiscuous. So they're actually very comfortable now doing whatever it is that they want to do. How much of an impact do we feel like that's going to have on people's values, and how much are they actually going to care about these standards of values?
It's only going to help the old hoes that are coping and telling themselves that silly shit. Like, women can't contract protection. You know how much a fucking security guard costs per hour?
No, Willie, they do. It's free.
It's not free, and this is why it's not free, because women don't want female police officers coming when somebody's beating their ass. Women don't want a female plumber coming when they have some shit that's broke. Women will always need men. These women that he's talking about that have that decenter man shit are just coping because they couldn't get niggas. So now they're 40, 50 plus years old. Melissa Ford, Lisa Ray, Vivica Fox, those types that can't get men and can't find husbands. So they cope and tell themselves this shit. We had a whole show about when she went to Puerto Rico or Mexico, found all the other old hoes that couldn't find niggas and was like, we just moved down here and living our best lives. And fucking all the young niggas. Like, that's all it is. It's just cope. That's not anything about.
So Willie, I think we're kind of missing the point, because